Today, I am with Les, and he is one of our Sanders Fitness members. And he had an incredible story he shared with us during the Sands. And so I'm going to go ahead and let Les introduce himself and tell us about this wonderful journey he had.
Thanks, Rob. I guess first off, I want to say thanks to you for the work that you do in trying to keep our little Gen X group healthy and fit and alive. And it was interesting when we first started associating with the Sands and we bought our tickets and we started to get more interested. I found this fitness group, and it happened that when I first got interested in the Sands, I wasn't very fit at all. I was obese. I was almost 300 pounds. I think my top weight was about 298 or so. My body fat percentile was 38%. But I loved music and I wanted to go and I wanted to have this experience. And so as we got interested in the Sands, I was also getting interested in fitness. And I found the fitness group, and I didn't do an awful lot of posting, but I did a fair amount of reading. And I think that's where the value of the group is hearing the thoughts and getting a sense of the feelings of the people involved in the group. So I just wanted to say thanks for what you do and how you administer the group, because it is an awesome subgroup of the whole Sands family. So thanks for that, Rob. My journey started in January of 2021. I got a call. Actually, I got an email from my boss that said, I need to talk to you at 8 o'clock this morning. And I had sent that exact same email to about 51 people as a manager. That exact same email, I need to talk to you this morning. And it's the notification that you're no longer going to be employed. And so at 8 o'clock on the 18th of January, of 2021, I lost my 30-year career in television. And it sent me into a pretty deep spiral. I was almost 300 pounds. I was morbidly overweight. I was killing myself with stress. It was a very high stress environment I worked in. And I was soothing my stress with Doritos. I don't drink alcohol. I haven't for about 30 years. So my crutch was food, and I used that a lot over the last number of decades to cope. So what happened is I kind of went into a little bit of spiral, didn't eat very well, kind of lost my appetite because of the anxiety, and I shed 20 pounds in the first month or two. And I thought, wait a second. Maybe this isn't the worst thing that's ever happened to me. The stress was coming off. Yes, there was the anxiety about the job loss, but maybe this could turn into... So being a journalist, I started researching. And what can I do? How can, maybe I can make some... Because I tried Weight Watchers. I tried, joining the gym. I bought the CD set off of the late night television that was going to turn me into some sort of muscular monster. I'd done all that. And none of that ever, there was no discipline, right? There was no discipline to it. And I think the loss of control that I had when I lost my job, I was looking for something that I could have impact on, and I couldn't professionally anymore. Those days were done. So what I did is I turned all of that type A personality, all of that kind of, feeling to seek excellence, I turned on myself. And I said, okay, I've been making other people a lot of money and I've been winning awards. I got a couple over here for things that I do as a profession. Why don't I try and win an award for me? And the award is Save My Life. So I started doing some research and I came across intermittent fasting, and I'm always skeptical, right? Being a journalist, I was kind of what is it? Will it work? Will it not? You know, what are the pros? What are the cons? What are the drawbacks? And I talked to you know, some healthcare professionals, and they said, you know, as long as you are, you know, doing it right, and you're, you know, we're going to monitor, and we're going to make sure that, you know, because starvation, I tried the starvation thing. I'm just not going to eat, and yeah, it didn't stick. But I found that if I applied that discipline that I had to making television news, to making me better, and I really didn't eat every day until 2 o'clock, and then I stopped eating at 8 p.m. And as a man, and I'm you know, I'm lucky that I have a gender where we lose weight easier than women. I know that. And you know, God bless the women out there that are trying to find their fitness journey. It's hard. It's way harder than what we have to face as men. But the weight started coming off me, and by about September of 2021, I was down 60 pounds or so. And you know, I was buying new clothes, but I kind of hit up, you know, September, that was it. And it really wasn't about the number on the page, because what I had done is I was 54 years old at this time, and I was turning 55 in 2022. And I thought, okay, I just want to be fit at 55. And what is my goal for fitness? Well, we have a very famous ski mountain here called Whistler Blackcomb. And Whistler Blackcomb is one of the most challenging mountains in North America. It's a big ski hill. And I wanted to ski Whistler, specifically Blackcomb Mountain, top to bottom. It's about 9,000 vertical feet without stopping. I wanted to start at the very summit, and I wanted to ski down to the base, and I wanted to do that without stopping. On my 55th birthday, I did that. And it took me about 36 minutes. It just about killed me. I got to the bottom. I laid down in the snow. I think I was melting snow underneath me because it was so warm. After I was done that, another fitness goal I had was to bend over and touch my toes without bending my knees, because that, you know, flexibility is part of fitness. I stood on the little snow deck that they have. They have this nice little wooden deck at the bottom of the mountain, and they serve hot chocolate there. So I treated myself to a hot chocolate. I took off my ski boots, and I bent over and I touched my toes. And those were two of the three things. The other one I want to do is there's this killer hike in Vancouver called the Grouse Grind, and it's on another mountain called Grouse Mountain. And it's arduous, to say the least. And I wanted to do the Grouse Grind, and my fitness goal there was just to not die going up. And I haven't done that yet. I've done a few hikes, but I haven't done the grind. And mostly it was because I just got busy with life and other things. And but as I said, I got to September of last year, and the intermittent fasting wasn't working that well. If I, you know, if I had a theory that if I cheated a little on a weekend, I would wait until supper time on Monday to eat. So there was some things that were still kind of working for me, but I didn't, you know, my diet was pretty messy. Yeah, sure, I only ate between 2 and 8 in the day, 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. in the day, but, you know, it was kind of anything goes. So in September, I said, you know what, I'm gonna see exactly how well I can do this thing. I'm gonna win the award. I'm going for the award, and the award is longevity. So I joined the gym. My wife Corey and I joined hot yoga. We started eating better, and it's all about balance, right? I mean, I still, you know, tomorrow's night's Friday night. It's pizza night in our house, and we're definitely having pizza tomorrow night. That's the way it works in our home. But then on Saturday morning, we're going to get up and we're going to be in the gym. So I will never out exercise a bad diet. My bad diet will always persist. So what I need to do is just make a better choice today, as often as I possibly can, go to the gym with regularity and discipline, and have a feel for what feels right. And it's very little about the number on the scale anymore. It's really about, how do I feel, and how do my pants feel? You know, is my shirt, you know, are the buttons pulling a little bit? You know, and then so then once I got into the gym, I kind of liked it. And I was always one of these guys that went, that seems like a big investment of time for I don't know what. But I got into it. And all of a sudden, I was a skinny teenager. I was a punk rocker.
Okay.
I had my hair shaved and my eyebrows shaved, and I used to wear, army boots and camouflage, and yeah, and
Yeah.
and I, I was always a scrawny kid, and for the first time in my life, I had a physique. You know, I'd hop out of the shower, and Corey would look at me in a way that she hadn't looked at me in a very, very long time, and and so I started to, and listen, it's not really about ego, it's more about confidence. And I'm now at a point, I'm 55 years old. Corey and I work together in our business. It's actually her business. My wife is, also my boss. Nothing can go wrong here. But we have a great life. We just spent a week in Mexico with a whole group of awesome people. We can make choices now, and I used to be very, very worried about the optics, because I had a fairly high profile job in media in Canada, and I still have to be responsible, but I can also be me. And being me right now means, eat well, exercise often, have balance, work hard. When I'm at work, I'm
Yep.
working hard. Be responsible, but also be fun. Life's too short, and so
It is.
that's kind of where I'm at, Rob. You know, I do worry about the longevity of the thing.
Mhm.
My history is I tend to be distracted,
Mhm.
but it's been a year and a half, and I've been on this journey, and and I've stuck to it. So if I can
Right.
spend 30 years in the grind of television news, I can do this for the rest of my life. And that was a daunting thing. The rest of my life, I can never do this again. I can never have that again. I can't eat this.
Right.
You know what? Like I said, we're having pizza tomorrow night, but we're also
Right.
going to go to the gym. So
So you were doing 18.6 then, is that correct?
yeah, so I was and that sometimes the back end of that, like, there might be a bowl of popcorn at 9 p.m., but not a big
Right.
bowl, not a huge bowl, and not with butter on it, but just,
Right.
a little bit of popcorn, a handful. Because that was my weakness. I was killing myself with a bag of Doritos almost every night.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but really balance, it's just that nothing is off limits. But everything anything that is too much is too much. And my
Yeah.
my body now tells me that. Like, if I have too much, like Mexico was a little much.
It
And my
was.
body, my body's my body's telling me, okay, dude, it's
Yeah.
time to get back at it.
Absolutely. Same here.
Yeah.
Um, what does your doctor say? Have you seen him since you've dropped the weight?
She is astounded by my okay, so I was diagnosed with diabetes in 2018, late 2018. I was on like 7 pills a day, 6 pills a day. I was on a massive dose of a drug called metformin to try and keep my
Yep.
blood sugars under 8, and that wasn't working. So they added in another medication called Jardiance, and I was probably, a little not too long, I was going to start having to do insulin injections. Well, my doctor has now taken me off all my diabetic medications. My blood sugars are stable in a very nice place, in a normal range. I'm gonna be able to keep my eyesight and keep all of my feet and all the rest of it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's what happens with diabetics. And I will never be not diabetic again. I am diabetic.
Okay.
But I can stall and postpone and offset the impacts of that disease. And
Absolutely.
and so yeah, that feels nice, is not to have to take all those pills.
Yeah, we had someone last year do the same thing. And so I love to hear those stories, especially, you were surprised. Um, to drop that story in on us there. And then especially your wife's story too. And I was just like, oh, this is great, you know.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, you know, I'm not. I've talked a lot about me, and I do like it. You know, I don't want to, you know, share. You know, I don't want to tell Corey's story, but her story is amazing. She has struggled with her weight and the confidence that comes from body issues and the challenges that women face. Women face much more significant challenges than dudes. You know, guys can walk around with a gut and they can still be, you know, still be confident and feel manly. Women, they, you know, the amount of body imagery challenge that women face is unbelievable. And I'm very, very proud of the success that my lovely wife has made. And it's, you know what, she was beautiful then, she was awesome then, she is awesome now. It's not that it's not like she got prettier. She's always been a very beautiful woman. What it is her eyes. You know where she lost all of the weight? In her eyes, because her eyes sparkle now. She's alive now. It's you know, her expression, her confidence, I mean, she's a formidable woman. She's also my boss, so I have to say that. But you know, I'm most impressed by her, because like I said, it's easy for guys, easier for guys. It's tough for her.
Yeah, you said something that I wasn't aware of. And last year, we had everybody submitted their stories last year. And, you know, as guys, we kind of get absorbed with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of the ladies in our group sent their transformation stories. And some of the things you just told me, the self-image, I was not aware of, you know, and it really opened up my eyes and my heart to everybody, you know. And so it's it kind of shakes you up a little bit there.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, Rob, there's a saying, you know, if would you laugh or would you ridicule a man who goes to an unemployed man who goes to a job fair? Then why would you look or pass judgment on a larger person that's working out in the gym that you're at?
Oh, never do that.
You know, listen, it doesn't, it's baby steps. If you're in the gym and you only can do 5 minutes on the treadmill and, you know, do you know, a little bit on a cycle or something, that's all, you know, even if it's just go for a walk after supper. Some is better than none. And for, you know, again, I don't want to tell Corey's story, but for a long time, you know, she carried the burden of not thinking that she was good enough or beautiful enough or small enough to be to have value. And you know, that's a crime of our society. That's a crime of our culture, is that we place women in a place where they don't feel that they have value based on their dress size or their pant size, because that's brutal. I mean, I believe that all people have an attractiveness to them, and it's, you know, there's physical attraction, but attraction really isn't about that. It's beauty is, like, it's a cliche, but it's way more than just surface of the skin. So
it is. I encourage, you know, everybody on our group, you know, it's not about getting muscles and getting ripped. You know, that's benefits of taking care of yourself, but the bottom line is to live a healthy life. You know, and when your doctor gives you good news or bad news, you know what to do with that. So I just want everybody to be healthy as they can be in their body, you know, and happy. It's always good when you get a happy report from a doctor.
And you know, that is an interesting point that you raised, Rob, because you know, there was a point where I was in the gym and, you know, I would do yoga in the morning and then I'd be in the gym after work, and, you know, I was going really, really hard because I was really enjoying it. And I kind of hit a wall. And it, you know, the happiness, you know, and there's a sign in the gym that I go to that says it's got the words "I have to go to the gym," and it's got "have" scribbled out, and it says "I get to go to the gym today." And I lost the "get to go" and I adopted the "have to go," and it started being a burden. And so I took a little time off. I took a little break. And in Mexico, we were in the gym a fair bit, but since I've come home, it's been, slammed with, with work. So I haven't been in the gym a lot this week, but I know that, like I said, there's pizza tomorrow night, and then there's going to be
Right.
gym this weekend. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
you're
And
very welcome.
you lit up the whole room. And, I got several people say that the success stories was what made that group meeting.
Mhm.
You and I think it was about 4 other people shared their
Yes.
stories, and it motivates everybody else. And hopefully what we're doing here, we'll share with our group. You'll be getting some messages, I'm sure.
And I want to extend that to the group. If anyone has any questions, or how did that intermittent fasting go, or where did you find information, or, I'm, NUZ, or Z, as you Yanks like to say, NUZGUI, news guy at hotmail.com. Send me a note. I'm here. That's another thing I've learned is part of being happy is also passing along whenever you can, and so I'd love to pass along to anyone who cares.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Les, thank you so much, my friend. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, you know what? I'm really looking forward to hearing the stories at next year's SANS.
Yeah.
Because I do think, it's funny. When we were there, the first few days before SANS started, there was only maybe a half a dozen, less than that, in the gym each morning. And then Gen X showed up, and there were 20 of us in that gym
Yeah.
on the first day. And I'm like, really? But it's we're all 50 something, or in late 40s, 50 something, and we're trying to just save our lives, right? And so that
Right.
was awesome to see. So keep going, Gen X. We got, these boomers, they're gonna fall away, and we're gonna be partying until we're 90. So
And what we're doing now is going to prolong our quality of life 20 years from now.
yeah,
It really is.
yeah. I still want to be able to dance, maybe not as vigorously, and maybe sitting down and dancing, but I still want to dance when I'm in my 80s.
Well, you definitely got the dance bug. So that's when I first saw you. I was like, who's that guy out there dancing?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at the pool, of course.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I said, that guy's having a good time.
yeah. Well, that's the I don't really care what it looks like anymore. I'm dancing like nobody's watching. So